Oh, greetings from Snafu, Yukon. I love that you're picking Canadian cities. It's hilarious to me. Never been, don't know where it is other than Yukon, but Snafu, that's fun. You're doing some work, buddy. You're doing work. You're making sure that you find these places, which is good. You're doing about as equal work as I do to put this podcast together. So, although I did do a little work this week, um, I've got both cameras set up. So I'm looking over here because that camera's over there and still messing me up. And I moved everything. So you can see my backdrop's a little different. I've got my table hockey rig in behind me. I'm further over this way in my whatever media area of my place. So yeah, so I've done some different stuff here. But yeah, if you notice, anybody's noticing the background. So like 15 seconds. Yeah, 15 seconds. Yeah. You just look up funny cities, I guess, maybe. Welcome everybody else, anybody else who may or may not be watching, probably not, but if you are, welcome. Going to talk about a few fun things this week. What are you saying there, Joe? Of course you have table hockey. That's like a $1,500 friggin' table hockey thing. It's like the full thing, right? You know, like the bar quality ones. So it's got the scoreboard and everything. Whatever. Get out of the way a little bit. You see the scoreboard? Whatever. Maybe you don't, but it's got all of it. It's good. I thought about getting rid of it, but I've had it for a long time and I don't know if I can. Anyways, yeah. So we're going to talk about a few things this week. Going to talk about Rogan getting ousted as the number one podcast. I call bullshit. But yeah, apparently he's no longer the number one podcast on Spotify and Apple podcast. We'll talk about it. Whatever. I've got some numbers to go through and show why I think it's complete hogwash bullshit. But we'll talk about that. Also, border wall fire sale going on, selling off parts of the border wall just in time for the new administration to come back in and build the border wall. So, yeah, talk about trying to hamstring Trump and his administration from doing what he says he's going to do. I guess this is fucking schoolyard shit. You know, let's sell this shit knowing he's going to use it. And then you're just going to spend a bunch more money because he's going to spend the money. Like, so cool. That's cool. I'm sure taxpayers are enjoying that. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about the movie Carry On, Netflix's homage to Die Hard, I guess. I don't know. Going to do a review on that. Watched it. It's not going to be a good review for you if you're hoping and thinking that it's a good movie. Well, not according to me, it's not. But we'll talk about that. And lastly, we're going to talk about Chrystia Freeland. If you don't know who she is, she's actually the former finance minister of Canada. So she's the dumpster fire that is in charge of our monetary policies, if you will, in Canada. And so, yeah, if you're tired of the taste of dog shit, it's because she fed it to you for the last bunch of years. But she's gone now. So, it looks like the whole cabinet around Mr. Trudeau is leaving. So it's, looks like the end is near for our friend Justin. So we'll talk about all that. Before we do all that, if you are watching, and you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe to the channel. If you like it, that is. If you don't, well, hey, there's other channels. There's, I think, 2.5 million other podcasts or something. So go check one of those out. But if you do like it and you do want to support this channel, the best way to do that is to become a subscriber. Like the content with the little thumbs up, comment, share, all the engagement, anything that that helps a small channel, that'll help this small channel grow. So do that or don't, whatever. What are you saying, Joe? $5,000 and wait, is that Canadian? So like, no, I said 1,500, buddy, not $5,000. Jeez. $5,000. Actually, those ones, the Canada US ones, they're at all the different bars. Those ones were almost $5,000. This one was $1,500. 1,500 Canadian, so like about $3.79 American. So, yeah, expensive. So about a gallon of your gas. Sell your hockey game and buy some border wall. Just as I was saying, yeah. It's pretty hilarious. And now they're, I guess the idea is that they're going to buy the border wall and try and sell it back to the government. Capitalism at its finest, I guess. Two watching and only one thumbs up. Let's pump those numbers, people. Well, listen, I can't make them watch. I can just put this dog shit out there, and if you want to watch it, well, you watch it. You like it, Joe, but you are an American from Michigan, so you're used to dog shit. I'm up here in the Great White North, so I'm used to dog shit. I live in white dog shit. So, all right. Watch this. Watch what I'm going to do here. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm going to change to this over here, and then I'm going to do that and see how I'm straight now. Oh, you won't see that. Hold on. There we go. Now you see I'm straight. It wasn't transitioning. We got some technical difficulties going on here. But now I'm looking right at my monitor. So it's, we got the 2-camera system going on here. About time. I have all kinds of equipment around here. I have another Yeti mic. I have all kinds of equipment, but I only use some of it. So it's about time I use some of it or more of it. All the lights around me. That's why you can see the shadow here. But yeah. Anyways, all right. Let's get on to the first thing, shall we? Let's see if we can get those viewership numbers up. All right. So, if you've been paying attention lately, you'll notice that Joe Rogan has been ousted as the #1 podcast, according to Spotify and Apple, by a brand new podcast. What is it? I'm Not Gonna Lie. Yeah, it's I don't think it's true, but hey, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers they go off of are. I don't see how it's getting the viewership it says it's getting, and I'll explain why. First, I'm going to read this article here. This is The Hill. I'm going to read part of it. Then I'm going to show you some numbers that I compiled. Oh, I'm going to tell you. Actually, I'm not going to show you because I've got it compiled here, but I'm going to tell you some numbers I've compiled, which you can go and verify for yourself, which would kind of tell me that there's a bit of tomfoolery going on around here, skull buggery or duggery or whatever, little shenanigans. But let's see what the Hill has to say about it. So Kylie Kelsey unseats Joe Rogan as top podcast with debut episode. Kylie Kelsey, wife of NFL player turned media personality Jason Kelsey, beat out Joe Rogan for the top podcast spot on both Apple and Spotify this week. On Apple Music, Not Gonna Lie, hosted by Kylie Kelsey, ranked ahead of Rogan's show Crime Junkie and the New York Times The Daily, among other heavyweights in the space. During her inaugural episode, Kelsey spoke on her recent pregnancy announcement, gave her thoughts on gender reveals, and shared what the past 2 years have been like as the Kelsey family has gained popularity. Rogan has for years been one of the most influential figures in podcasting and new media. The comedian and entertainer got a boost in popularity during the 2024 election, hosting a wide-ranging conversation with President-elect Trump before endorsing him days later. Kelsey, her husband Jason, and his brother Travis, who is dating singer Taylor Swift, I mentioned Taylor Swift, have experienced a boom in popularity in recent... Oh, geez. What happened there? What the hell happened there? In recent months, and have been featured prominently in a number of advertisement and media promos. For some reason, oh, that's it. Oh, good. I'm glad this article is nice and short. But, okay, so here's what I was saying about the numbers. So here's Spotify's list, whatever. I tried to go in and see if I could find Spotify's numbers or even Apple's numbers, but good luck with that. They don't show that kind of thing. The only way to really get it is going through like social media and such. So I did a little bit. So I checked Instagram just to see. So I went on Instagram, checked out Kylie Kelsey's Instagram, her personal Instagram, and then the Not Gonna Lie page. So her personal Instagram has 2.3 million followers. Her Not Gonna Lie page has 374,000 followers, right? Okay. YouTube, 179,000 subs and 760,000 views is her biggest video. So it was released 11 days ago, right? That's her highest grossing video or her highest viewed video. On the other hand, Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan has 19.5 million subscribers or whatever, or people on Instagram, followers on Instagram. 3.1 million for Joe Rogan Experience. And YouTube, he has 18.8 million subs with 1.3 million views on an equal, so a video that was released 11 days ago. Okay. His biggest video has like 64 million views or something. So you're telling me this brand new podcast just suddenly gets these kinds of numbers and they're that much bigger than Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, who's getting somewhere around 11 to 12 million views or whatever they call them, downloads or whatever they call them on podcasts. He's getting that many as that many. And she gets these kinds of numbers and this kind of like he's dwarfing her in every which way, but she's suddenly the top podcast. And they're trying to make a big thing like this is he's been ousted somehow. This is a small flash in the pan. Probably what's happened is she's been propped up to try and beat Joe Rogan. Cause now I think this is my personal opinion anyway. I think the narrative now would be to oust Joe Rogan as the top podcaster, because obviously now you want to get a little bit more. Well, I mean, so I watched, I'm going to frame this. I watched the not going to lie thing. Unfortunately, it was dog shit. Honestly, it was dog shit, but it seems like she has kind of moderate political viewing. So she doesn't seem to be one that's, when she's talking about safe spaces for women and, in washrooms and stuff like that. She's obviously referring to trans and such. So I think she probably isn't completely liberal or leftist, I should say, but she's popular enough that they could just insert her in there and make it look like she's going to dethrone Joe Rogan. So I think these numbers are I think it's bullshit. I don't think it's real views. I don't think it's real anything. I think it's just it's been propped up to make it look like something. Because honestly, I don't think she runs that good of a podcast. Like I've seen other podcasts where I've watched them and thought, well, they could technically dethrone Joe Rogan. The reason why Joe Rogan has such a good podcast is because he has such diverse guests. And he talks about all kinds of different things. So it's, if you're not interested today in his podcast, just wait a couple of days and you're probably interested. So that's the kind of thing. If she's just going to talk about her life, parenting, and, the Kelsey's popularity boost, that's going to be good for about 10 minutes. So, yeah. So I'm calling bullshit on this. I'm calling this this is a propaganda campaign to try and make it look like Joe Rogan's being ousted as the number one podcast. I don't think at all this is true. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next, I don't know how often they run this, maybe once a week, once every month or whatever. We'll see if her podcast remains at the top. But according to her numbers on YouTube, I highly doubt it. All right. Let me plop the next thing up here before I get onto it. Yeah, I don't know. I doing that bit of digging. If she was that meteoric of a rise, she got 179K subs, and you look at her subs. So you can look at the analytics on the subs, they're dropping. So she had a couple spikes, and then the rest of the time it's pretty flat at around like 2,000 or something. So I just think this is a flash in the pan. I think this was made. What do you guys say? Here's someone else. It is what it is. Joe Rogan has a great podcast because he's an excellent host, interviewer. He lets people talk and ask decent questions. The algorithm looks wonk. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing. You can only talk so much about yourself or what you have going on before it gets boring. Like Joe couldn't get on there and just keep talking about his life and all his interests only. And he'd be the number one podcaster. It's because he's got a number of things going on. He talks to very interesting people. He lets them talk. He doesn't just let them propagandize, whatever. He doesn't let them just spew shit on his podcast. He actually checks them on their bullshit. If they say something that isn't true or doesn't sound like they can back it up, he makes them back it up. He kind of even did it to Trump a little, where he let him go a little bit, but he kept kind of challenging him a little bit, keeping him reined in, which, that's got to be, it's got to be a little bit intimidating to have the former president sitting in front of you and you're kind of being, like he wasn't being combative, but he wasn't just letting him run over the conversation, which is appreciative. It's easy to watch. Hey, a new person. Hi, new person. Yeah. Joe will talk to you. It is what it is. So if you want to talk to Joe, talk to him. But I will talk to you as well. What else you got to say here, Joe? I don't believe this. I never heard of this woman. Yeah, it's so weird. Like I said, she just came out of nowhere. I mean, I know she's a Kelsey, and thanks to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift kind of put the Kelseys on the map, I guess, in some way, and the fact that they're on the biggest bandwagon team around right now, right? So it's a big recipe for for a meteoric rise, I guess, but this just doesn't look real to me. It looks flash in the pan. I don't know how this is holding anybody's attention. Honestly, I was having a hard time getting through it. I was forcing myself to get through this for like 45 minutes, her first podcast, and it was just junk, man. It was just awful. I had a hard time. Probably like a lot of people have a hard time getting through this one. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I'm never wrong. So, ask Joe. I have no idea who that woman is either. This is the first I've ever heard of her. Yeah, I mean she's a sister or the wife of Jason Kelsey, who is the brother of Travis Kelsey. So I mean, yeah, okay, ooh, yeah. The only reason why you know who they are at all is because he's on KC. I mean, Travis Kelsey, obviously you'd know who he was if you were a football fan because he's, arguably the best tight end in the league. But he's on the best team, arguably again, I guess. But it's just bad. Honestly, it's just bad. Objectively, I'm not being, I'm not being subjective at all in this. It's just bad. I watched it. It's just bad. It's not a good podcast. It's not something where I'm going, oh, this is very engaging. It's hard to be engaging, especially when you're not somebody who's that person. Like Joe Rogan's a comedian. He's been a commentator, all that kind of stuff. He's been an actor. Who's this chick? She's just a housewife who's married to a guy who played football, and she's been on his podcast a couple times. It'd be no different than of me, like me getting on there, and all of a sudden I have the top podcast. Like, fuck, somebody played with the numbers somehow. Remember how this works? Let's look at Shania Twain. Why is she famous? Her husband is media exec, bought 1 million copies of her first CD and put them in a warehouse. That made her chart. Yeah, I agree. Probably something like that. Like I said, this is probably an effort to try and dethrone Joe Rogan. And let's say for example, or let's say for argument's sake, this is actually legit and this podcast is something that's catching on a little bit. It's probably something like The View where people are going to watch because she's talking about mother parenting and all this kind of shit. So you're just gonna get all the View audience going over to watch a podcast. So I still don't see it long term beating the top podcasts. The Call Her Daddy one, that one probably has a better shot because you've got more, it's a little bit more vulgar and stuff, and it's they've got guests and things like that. I don't really watch it. I've watched a couple, but I'm not very interested in that one either. But it's anyways, I call bullshit all the way. I call bullshit. I think this is going to flash in the pan. She's going to get she'll get her small audience, like I should say small, but she'll get her medium audience and she'll drop down to, the top 50 maybe or top 100 and she'll park there. Yeah. Octo has a better shot. The View is amazing. It's like having a daily train wreck or indie crash at the stare. Yeah, I agree. It's really awful. I actually should watch more because it probably would give me a lot of shit to talk about on the podcast, but I don't know if I can watch that dog shit. All right, let me get on the next thing here. This one will piss you off. So they're already trying to hamstring Donald Trump prior to him taking office. Again, I mean, they tried it the first time. They tried it with, all kinds of accusations, the Steele dossier and all that shit. Now they're just going to take his border wall from under his ass. You can't make this shit up. I'm going to read this article. This is Fox News, actually. So, they're going to have a favorable view on Trump. And this end of it. So, it's a different take than the left, which I usually read from. But so Tom Cotton demands DOD records on border wall material sales be preserved. Senator Tom Cotton, Republican out of Arkansas, is demanding that Department of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin promise to keep all records as the Biden administration continues to sell southern border wall materials for low prices ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's second term. I write to demand full accountability and transparency from the Department of Defense about its role in the disposal of excess border wall materials from the first Trump administration, the senator said in a letter to Austin on Monday. He acknowledged that President Biden was the one who decided to halt the needed construction of the southwestern border wall, but added that he had questions about the DOD's role in the sale of materials. Yeah, and just FYI, I don't know if it's going to say this. Actually, well, it looks like it's saying it there, but they're selling this shit for pennies on the dollar. So basically, they're selling to obviously to private people buying these large sections of the wall. And now, as it would appear, according to Trump, there's been attempts essentially to reach out to Trump's administration to try and pre-sell the border wall back for, ridiculous amounts of money. So somebody's really trying to, they're basically doing what they did when COVID hit and people are buying all the masks and they're buying all the different personal protective, the PPE shit, and trying to sell it to people at scab prices, right? So it's the same thing going on here. I don't think this is going to work out very well for these scabs, the same way it didn't work out very well when they tried that shit on Amazon. But hey, capitalism at its finest, I suppose. Okay, according to the DOD official, Biden's administration has been disposing of excess border wall materials as was authorized by the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. The official said that about 60% of these materials have been given to authorized recipients such as U.S. Customs and Border Protection in Texas and California. They added that 40% was purchased by GovPlanet, a marketplace that sells surplus government equipment and materials. The border wall materials that are available on the site are not currently owned by the government, and the DoD doesn't have the authority to prevent any sales of them, the official said. So you can't make this shit up. This is so odd. It's just weird shit that it's honestly, this is like we're kids and one kid isn't playing with a toy and they want the toy and the other kid wants, the kid reaches for that toy and then that kid goes, no, I want to play with that toy. Or they go, no, you know what? No, I don't like that. And they break the toy so the other kid can't have it. It's just childish shit going on here. One administration going, we're going to hamstring the other. When you get in, well, you want to build a border wall. Well, good luck without your materials. But again, these are the kids fucking around, and we should all, as the parents essentially, because we should be in control of our government, we should be the ones saying, no, fuck no, you can't take that border wall shit and sell it privately to someone else who's then going to sell it back. Like, how stupid is this? It's just bizarre. It's all of our money. Well, I shouldn't say our money. I'm Canadian, so fuck you guys. It's all you U.S. money, but it's the people's money. It's citizens' money. This doesn't belong. There's no such thing as government owning anything. It's owned by the people. So just because the government used money that they took from the people to buy this thing, they can't just sell that shit back to the people, to private, entities, and then those entities extort the people for more money for that same thing. This is just criminal. So the fact that they're allowing this is just bizarre. I hope somebody puts a stop to this shit, or just use some kind of executive action to say, or executive order to say, no, we're just going to come confiscate that shit back. Here's your money back that you paid for it, your pennies on the dollar, but we're going to take our border wall back because it's in the best interest of everyone, not just, a couple fat cats in some fucking company that decides they want to try and steal materials off the American public. What are you guys saying here? I also heard Texas is going to buy the whole thing and save it for Trump. I hope so. I mean, well, again, it's they have to. They're going to buy it, obviously, but it's just extortion, just extorting the government. So somebody's going to extort Texas, I guess. Every time I watch the Senate, Sit live. I'm worried that someone stole half of Madame Tussauds wax museum. That's good. That's good, actually. Yeah. Fuck. You're not. It's funny that you say that. It's funny and it's not funny because it does look like they're dead. I swear to God, they're animated. Like Pelosi, I don't think she's been alive for 10 years. I don't know how half of these people, I don't know. I think we're being tricked somehow. It's all green screened. Texas governor was a genius when he sent multiple busloads of migrants to Martha's Vineyard one way. Yeah, that was beautiful. It's funny. Obviously, it's funny sitting back and watching this shit play out because it's the theater. It's basically the theater of politics, but it's also sad because you're hoping that they're the adults in the room, but at this point they're not. Like one side's doing one thing, and I understand that doing that, sending the bus, that's hilarious and necessary. Get them the fuck out of your state, but they shouldn't be allowed in the first place. They should be on a bus back out, back out the other way, the same way they came in. But as a third generation American, I despise pure capitalism. Here's one of many reasons why. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, pure capitalism without any guardrails it's ridiculous because when you go pure either way, all you end up getting is the strongest people bullying the weakest. It doesn't matter which way you go, left or right. If you go socialism versus like pure socialism versus pure capitalism, it's going to be the same way either way, because the people that are the strongest and the ones with the most resources are going to be the ones that just put their thumb on everyone else. So it's the same difference either way. It's kind of like the very far right versus the very far left. They're both crazy, right? You realize the rest of the world calls us politicians kleptocrats, U.S. politicians. Yeah, they are kleptocrats. Exactly. Well, they're no better up here in Canada. I was having this debate the other day about politics and just leaders in general, and because we were talking about Biden and his pardoning his son, and I've said it before on the podcast. I don't disagree with it. I think it's fine. Like okay. Let me phrase it properly. I don't think it's right, but I understand him doing it, and I would do it too. Straight up, if I were my son, he was in trouble for lying on a form, some bullshit, firearms form or whatever. Yeah, fuck it, I would do it too. It's in my power to do it. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting you out, buddy. Especially if I'm 81 and senile. I just be like, I'm not taking my meds today, and I would just be like, okay, my son, you're free. And people would just go, it's probably because he's not on his meds today. So I don't blame him. I don't blame them for doing stuff like this. It's just, if you're going to steal a little from the trough, or you're going to help yourself when you're in power, make sure that most of what you're doing helps everyone else, helps the people that you're supposed to be governing. 95% of it or more. And that little bit, sure, okay. If you're taking a little bit of money, okay. I mean, whatever. It's leakage. It's the reason why cameras are pointed inward at stores, right? They're not pointed at the customers. They're pointed at the employees, because 80% of the theft comes from inside. It's just the way humans are. Like, no matter what you do, most humans, there's some that just have absolute impeccable morality and they won't do it. But most humans, no matter how much you give them, they'll always take a little bit. It's just, I don't know why that is a human nature thing. So if you understand that, whatever. I mean, as long as they're doing the bulk of the good, the overwhelming majority of the good for everyone else, I'm okay with it, because I understand that it's in the human nature realm. Call me a humanist, but that's just the way I see it. What are you guys saying here? That's actually the term used abroad. It is what it is from Canada. All right. 2 representing Canadians. Our friend here, Joe, is from Michigan. So yeah, we're all in the same. We're on the same neck of the woods here. I hate being so moral. I think it's held me back in life. Listen, I'll tell you, it's the same. Honestly, I think quite a few times where I've done the right thing wasn't the right thing for me. And I probably was left holding the bag in some way, and whatever. But at the end of the day, I felt better about myself for doing it, so I just do it. I just do whatever, whatever makes me, even if it's the hard way, it's the hard, the hard road to take. I still, as long as I feel better about it, I'm just gonna do it. So I've done that many times, but yeah, you're right. Probably doesn't help you long term, but whatever. It gets me to sleep at night. Americans are good people. The issue is the government. Same in Canada. The crazy is smaller than the media makes it look. Exactly. I agree. What's up, Robert? Howdy, howdy. Howdy, howdy from Africano. No worries, buddy. It's late for you, so you don't have to apologize for being late. It's very late for you. So thanks for joining us, though. All right. Let me get into the next thing here, and then I'll have a lot to catch up with your with whatever you guys are talking about. Okay. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay, so Netflix released their, I'll call it their version of Die Hard on December 13th. If you've watched it, you might know what I'm about to say. I'm not going to spoil. It's no spoiler alert. I'm not really going to tell you the plot. It's too new for me to do that. That would be unfair. But I will tell you that it is it's a letdown. Okay, it's not a carry on. It's a letdown. I'm going to read this article here. This is Screen Rant. Let's see what they have to say about it. So, Carry On review. Taron Egerton's uneven Netflix thriller gets more fun as it dumbs down. I disagree with that, by the way. I don't think it gets more fun. I think it just gets more dumb. For at least the first half of Carry On, I often noticed my thoughts wandering away from the action on screen. This is something I pay attention to more closely when watching the review. It's always notable when a movie doesn't hold your focus, even if it's not always to blame. But I was more aware of it than usual this time because I wasn't thinking about my day or my next meal or what I had to do tomorrow. My wandering thoughts never really left the movie. I was thinking about Carry On the story, but Carry On the story vehicle. Okay. That was nonsense. But I agree. When I was watching this movie, I found myself kind of like, I'm like, okay, this seems to be a lot of, I don't know. It's like, get to the point already. They could have gone in quicker. That's the way I feel anyway. But especially with sort of the silly depth of the character, they were trying to give you this depth of this character, but I don't think you needed to. Anyways, I'll continue reading this before I go into a little bit more of my rant. I had questions I wanted answered, but other than what's in the suitcase, they weren't narrative ones. I wanted to know why this type of movie was being told in this way with these actors. For the substantial period of time that Carry On tries to take itself seriously, I experienced it mostly as a movie star test for Taron Egerton. Now, I don't even really know who this Taron Egerton guy really was. I've seen him before. Can't think of where, and I didn't really bother looking. But he was okay. He reminded me of Terminator 2, the guy from Terminator 2. Is he this kind of guy, or is that kind? As a way to watch that eventually becomes some of the off the rails fun, I actually recommend it. Even if you get more of what Egerton's screen presence isn't than what it is. Okay. He's obviously he's recommending this. I wouldn't recommend this movie. I would give this movie, and this is being optimistic, I'd give this movie like a 5.5 out of 10. If you turn your brain off when you first go to watch it, okay. And it's got a good cast. I mean, you've got Jason Bateman. You've got, I can't remember the dude's name, is from Breaking Bad. Hank from Breaking Bad. He's awesome. You've got, what's that? I don't know. There's another actor. Anyways, I haven't done my homework on the actors, but there's some people that you'll recognize in the movie, and they're good actors, and it's good to see them in this kind of a role, but which makes it, it makes you watch it going, oh, okay, well, you've got these guys in there, but honestly, Jason Bateman in this role, I wasn't really convinced. I mean, they seemed to pivot a little bit with his character kind of midway, which made it a little bit more believable for his personality and what you've seen him in other movies. But this was just kind of like this was like a Timu Die Hard. That's the way I'd put it. It's basically like a replica of Die Hard, only really bad. So it's, people have been comparing it to Die Hard. It's stupid. It's one of these movies when you watch, you go, "Oh, come on, really? Come on." Oh, nobody noticed he's talking to himself. Nobody's saying anything about him talking to himself. It's just, honestly, I would steer clear. I wouldn't bother watching it. I guess it did pretty well over the weekend and over the last few days since it's been out, but I wouldn't watch it. It's not really it's not worth your time. Now, I mean, I guess it's up to you if you want to watch it or not, but yeah, I would say this is it's a bit of dog shit. Like I said, 5 to 5.5 out of 10 at best. All right. Yeah. What are you guys gonna say here? I think most white people are great people. Oh, really? Oh, that's nice, man. Appreciate that. This is not a Christmas show. Die Hard is among best Christmas. Exactly. I love Die Hard. I don't know how you can say this movie is like Die Hard. It's Die Hard was okay. So Die Hard did this thing. You watched Bruce Willis doing shit that you're like, that is unlikely, and at best unlikely, but still cool and funny. This movie was just stupid. Like the same sort of things that they were doing. I'm not gonna give away shit, but it just made it stupid. So I'm not. I don't know. Anyways, I have nothing really all that good to say about it. I'm being nice when I say 5 to 5.5. I kind of thought it was dog shit. I probably, if I really honestly had to rate it, with my subjective opinion to it, I would give it like a 3.5 because I was pissed off that I watched it. Put it that way. Glad you picked up on that, Alex. But you did watch it, didn't you? Yeah. I watched Die Hard with wife last week. Yeah, I'll watch Die Hard. Die Hard's kind of it's kind of a remote drop movie for me. When it's on, I just put it down the remote. I'm like, I guess I'm watching this. But I don't usually watch much TV. So it's like now if I put TV on, it's like I'm putting something specific on. But if I'm somewhere where I happen to be watching TV, for example, if I'm staying at a hotel for something or whatever, and Die Hard is there, yeah, I'm not turning past it. It's the same with like Shawshank Redemption or The Matrix. There's a bunch of different movies like that where if I see it, I'm just leaving it on and I'm gonna watch it. Even if I'm doing something else, I'm like, oh shit, I guess I'm watching this movie for the 50th time. But Bloodsport was that movie for me growing up. Yeah, I loved Bloodsport too. It was so cheesy though. It was so cheesy. I love when he gets blinded and he's like, like you watch it now, it's so bad. Or Kickboxer when Tong Po is kicking he's kicking the cement pillar. These are such cheesy shit, but at the same time, whatever. Yeah, I don't care. Oh shit! I think YouTube just crashed on me. Well, hopefully, it's still live broadcasting right now. But well, whatever. Find out. I guess you guys will let me know. Yeah, all Van Damme movies. Yeah, I agree. Van Damme movies were the worst, but all the best at the same time. Yeah, cheesy call. It's the same with what do you call it? What's his face? Steven Seagal. All Steven Seagal's movies were kind of the same. Cheesy, like as if he could do any of that shit. But oh, good. It just said I just got a notice saying my YouTube thing crashed, but that's good. At least it didn't crash. Yeah. So yeah, they're cheese, but this one is not. This is not the kind of cheese where it's that good cheese. This is like somebody put a little bit too much Parmesan cheese on their pizza, ate some, and then tried to scrape it off and put it back in the Parmesan. Yeah, this is that. Or blue cheese. Or just blue cheese right out of the package. This is blue cheese. Disgusting, awful. Nobody should eat it. Gross. Blue cheese. All right. Let me get on the last thing here. This one will matter to any Canadians watching. It's it's Canada. All right. So Chrystia Freeland has, I guess, fired herself. She was going to get fired anyway, but she's quit now. Everybody's jumping ship now. Everybody's jumping ship out of Trudeau's dumpster fire of a cabinet, and she's no different. So I'm going to read this. This is CBC News. I'm throwing them a lifeline here because CBC News is complete garbage. We could call it Complete Garbage Corporation, or complete, not garbage, CBC. So we call it, I don't know. We'll figure out something. But yeah, complete garbage, dumpster fire. But let's see what they have to say here. Chrystia Freeland resigns from Trudeau's cabinet, and sources say Dominic LeBlanc will replace her. After Chrystia Freeland's shocking resignation as finance minister, fuck off, shocking? Really? He was showing no confidence in her, and his whole cabinet's falling apart. So what do you mean shocking? Sources say Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc will be sworn in to replace her later Monday as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tries to shore up his shaky government and restore some stability. Yeah, good luck, buddy. LeBlanc, who has been close personal friends with the Prime Minister since childhood, has long been one of Trudeau's most trusted lieutenants. The New Brunswick's cabinet minister recently joined Trudeau for dinner with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He had been tasked with drafting the government's billion-dollar border plan to appease American concerns about drugs and migrants coming into the U.S. from Canada. Freeland said earlier today she was resigning from Trudeau's cabinet just hours before she was set to deliver the government's fall economic statement. She probably did that on purpose because she's dog shit, and I'm sure her statement would have been ridiculous anyway. So just get out of there. Just jump ship, go hide, because you're useless. It's a disastrous development for the government that throws its economic agenda into a tailspin and leaves a huge gap on Trudeau's front bench at a time when Liberal Party support has collapsed in the polls. You gotta realize CBC is going to be leaning all the way towards Liberals. So if this is nice, it's because that's the reason why. So that's why they're dog shit. Freeland's jaw-dropping move to leave just before tabling the economic statement is unprecedented. The statement is supposed to be the government's fiscal roadmap at a time of great uncertainty as Canada stares down Trump's tariff threat. By the way, it's a tariff threat. It's not a real threat. It's basically a threat at the shithead Justin Trudeau and his garbage government at this point. You think when Poilievre wins in 2025, these tariffs are going to be a thing? Fuck no. They're not going to be a thing at all. There's no way. We're the largest trade partners, probably one of the largest trade partners in the world. Canada relies heavily on U.S. trade. There's no way, and U.S. relies, I don't know if they rely necessarily, but they like trade with Canada. So I don't think it makes a lot of sense either way, unless you're trying to make a point. And I think Trump's just trying to make a point. So, it's basically let's get the free flowing energy pipelines going between Canada and the U.S. and stop this nonsense green initiative that's just curtailing all of that. So, and once that happens, I think the tariff threat is suddenly gone. In a letter to Trudeau that was subsequently posted to her social media account, the outgoing Deputy Prime Minister said she had no choice but to resign after Trudeau approached her Friday about moving to another cabinet role. On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in the cabinet, Freeland wrote, addressing Trudeau. Upon reflection, I've concluded that the only honest and viable path is for me to resign from the cabinet. Freeland also took a jab at Trudeau's handling of the country's the country's economy, denouncing what she called the government's costly political gimmicks and imploring him to work collaboratively with the country's premiers to take on Trump's tariffs. She conceded that she and Trudeau have been at odds in recent weeks. Okay, it goes on for a little while. I did read part of the exit letter. It was kind of funny. I should have actually. I didn't even think about it, but I should have had it plopped up. I could have read part of that for you. Yeah, she's basically trying to blame Trudeau for stuff that she was involved in, but I don't think anybody's gonna. I think people see through that. I don't think anybody's gonna be tricked by that. She's the finance minister. She's second in charge of the country under Trudeau. She got a lot of say and a lot of pull. And I think at this point, she's just trying to save her political career, if there is one left, because she's a complete, like I said, she's a complete dumpster fire. I think she should go and try and teach, I don't know, economics to fourth graders somewhere or something like that. Something where she can, still get government money given to her to keep propagating her bullshit economic rhetoric. What are you guys saying? She can go off with Azov Battalion as a comfort woman. Heard Trumpy's been taunting Trudeau much better. Yeah. Well, there was that whole joke about Canada being the 51st state. Not against it. I'm actually not even against it. The tariffs would collapse economy in border states as hard as Canada. If you actually peel back layers and look at her and her mother, they are cut from the same cloth as the grandfather. I think his name is Michael Sloviak. Yeah, no, I agree with you about tariffs. It would, but I think it's a threat. I honestly think it's just like, I think it's some flexing. Canada, I think we do like 50% of our trade is with the States. There's no way they're going to tariff it. And if they do, like I said, it'll be certain things, and it'll be driven to try and push the current government off this carbon fucking bullshit agenda that they're on, and try and open that pipeline back up again. And I'm sure Trump has reasons, like it's not like he's just saying, let's tariff the shit out of him. He's using the tariffs as a negotiation tactic. And so I think it'll, I think they'll back off the minute things start to go that way. And right now it looks like Poilievre, for all intents and purposes, is going to win. So his plans are a lot more in line with Trump's sort of nationalism. So I think we'll be okay. I don't think much will change under Pierre. It may get marginally better, but until you stop bringing in the third world, terraforming Canada into India, not much will change, and all parties are on board. No, but Pierre's not as open to full-on immigration. And I think right now, as it is, there's like 4.9 million basically unregistered immigrants in Canada, which is massive for Canada because that represents like, of our total population, like 12, 13% or something. So it's pretty massive. So I think he's got a little plan for that too. You got to kind of look at all his plans. He's got plans for the housing market. He's got a bunch of different plans. So yeah, I know. I think things will change under Poilievre. I don't know how fast. And as with the States, it's the same in Canada. It's only worse, actually. That unless he gets an absolute majority government, which is rare in Canada, he has to make a coalition with another party, because we got the four stupid parties. Well, five technically if you include the Green Party, but they don't have much of a say. But he's got to get a coalition government. So you'd have to get the NDPs or something like that to jump in with him so they can actually make some shit happen. But I don't know. We'll see. I think he'll get pretty close to majority government, because I think people are just fucking tired of this, just the shit that the Liberals do. So, here she would go work in one of Chow and Layton's massage parlors. Yes, Michael Sloviak or Shlomiak. He was Stephen Bandera's PR man. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. 70% of our trade. Oh, it's 70%. Holy shit. Yeah. So even more. Like, that's crazy. So obviously, it'll affect everything. But again, like I said, I think it's energy driven. Just go to the duty free shop if you're worried about it. It's right under the Ambassador Bridge. 4.5 million. That's a month here. Yeah. You're like, hold our beer. 4.5 million. We got this. How many now? He will win a total majority. I hope so. I hope you're right, man. But I don't know. I reserve space for the stupid, because I was surprised that when he pulled that early election the last time that he won. I was hoping that would backfire in a big way, but it didn't. Paula Vieira is going to win a total majority. Paula Vieira. That's funny. That's a good autocorrect. Butchered his name. We knew what you meant. That's fine. Paula Vieira. I'm gonna vote for Paula Vieira. I'll be honest with you. I've said this before. I've never actually voted. This will be the first time I voted. So I actually registered conservative. I'm going to vote for Polyev this time around. So that's what Trudeau has done. He's gotten the non-voters like me to go out and vote. A lot of my clients are lifelong liberals and they won't vote for a liberal party. Well, that's good. That's good. I know a bunch of liberals and no matter what, they vote liberal. Doesn't matter. They just vote liberal. But yeah, I think in this case, if I think the liberals, I've said this before on the podcast. I may not have heard, but if you've been listening for a while, you've heard that I've actually said before that I think that Trudeau is going to get ousted. I think they're going to do a non-confidence vote for him sometime early enough next year that gives him enough time to campaign with a new candidate. I think right now they're just he's trying to tread water, and if they do get him out, kind of like what they tried to do in the States, if they get him out in time and they get somebody popular enough or somebody charismatic enough, you're going to get the never conservatives and the people that dislike Trudeau but are liberal all the way. They'll vote liberal. So I don't know. I'm worried. Put it that way. I'm worried mostly about a minority government for Pierre, and he's just not going to be able to do much. Excuse me. Not an easy name to say if you're not French. Technically, I am part French. Polyev. It is what it is. How do you went from Toronto? Yeah. So he's my neighbor. He's like 45 minutes on a good day away from me. I only voted one time. This was my first election I voted in since 2000. My mindset was always if voting really mattered, then the government wouldn't allow us to do it. That's pretty smart, actually. Yeah, that's probably pretty true, realistically. But yeah, I got to get rid of this asshole up here or move. It's either or. I can't do it anymore. Trudeau is the worst thing we've had in Canada in my lifetime. Their own internal polling as of end of 2023 said that every month they kept your due after that they were going to lose 5% of their seats. I know what you're trying to say there. Your text to speech is weird there, but yeah. Every month they kept. So they were going to go down if they didn't get rid of him every month. Well, yeah. I mean, I hope you're right. Honestly, I'm just I've been living in Canada my whole life, which is 46 years, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm jaded, especially for the last 9.5 of them with this fucking drama teacher fucktard running the ship with no idea. I think people after COVID really kind of got an idea. This ass clown had no idea what he was doing, especially with that trucker convoy and shit. But anyways. All right. Well, hey, this was lively. I like this. This was a lively chat, guys. Thanks for being in the chat with me, guys. It makes it a lot better for me to do the podcast. I don't feel like I'm alone, I'm not 50. Fuck off, buddy. I'm 46. Just turned 46. That's where you get all this gray in there. It's salt and pepper in there. That's why I hide the bald head. Yeah, it's all the ladies, all the ladies that watch the show. I don't want to hurt their feelings or anything. There's only one lady, one special lady in my life that I care about. If you're watching. If you're not watching, I wasn't kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to get in trouble. She's going to end up watching later and going, you're an asshole. All right, we'll call it. We'll call it that. We're at 55 minutes. Like I said, lively chat, boys. Thank you for being with us. Thanks to my Torontonian friend for jumping in with us. It is what it is. You have to let us know what your actual name is so we don't have to call you what your username is. I've got mine right on the screen so you can see who I am. So no hiding. And you know roughly where I am. So I'm kind of doxed. But yeah, we know I'm in southwestern Ontario, about 45 minutes away from our friend in Toronto there. So you do the math. Yeah, so if you were watching, thanks for watching. If you aren't yet a subscriber to the channel, hit that subscribe. That helps the small channel grow. And if you like the podcast. If you don't like the podcast, well, hey, there you go. Don't let no, please stay. Please stay. I'm kidding. Just stay anyway. Stay and hate on me. I don't care. No, but if you do like it, the best way to support the podcast is to subscribe, watch the videos, like them, share them, comment. Comment is huge. If you comment on the videos, that's engagement. The algorithm likes that. It will push my shit around to more people. So that's the way to do it. If you missed any part of the podcast and you don't want to watch the whole thing again, I understand. I wouldn't either because I don't like the look and sound of me. But you can catch it in smaller doses. I drop smaller videos during the week between Tuesday and Sunday, various times or various days, but same time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Any videos always 5 p.m. Eastern. If you want to catch those and share them and like them and comment and all that kind of stuff, by all means, please do. Even if you want to put a nasty comment, just make it funny because I fucking hate the people that put stupid, nasty comments that just aren't funny at all. I'm just like, meh. I don't even delete them. I just leave them up there as a badge of stupid honor for yourself to see how dumb you are with your stupid comment. But be smart with your insults and stuff. That is funny to me. And we'll all laugh. You'll laugh. You'll think you're clever for putting it, and I'll think you're clever because I'll laugh too. And check out the podcast, 7:00 Mondays. This next Monday coming up. You know what? I don't know if I will be doing a podcast next Monday. It's the 23rd. So there's a good chance I won't. Very good chance. Now, if I do impromptu, maybe I'll be here. I'll try and give you a little bit of heads up notice to let you know that I'm coming. If not, have a great Christmas, and I'll see you the following week. I'll definitely be here. That's December 30th. December 30th. Yeah, I'll be here the 30th, I think, for sure. Because fuck am I doing? It's the day before New Year's. I'll be here then. So, yeah, I'm going to say right now, I will not be here next week. Don't expect to see me. I won't be here next week. But I will be back on the 30th. So come see me. Jump in the chat. Have some funny things to say. And, support your 10th favorite podcast. And come see me. What are you guys saying over here before I leave? 46 is not shaving yet. Well, yeah. It feels a little old, especially when I pull something in my back or some bullshit. You've doxed yourself in this show at least 3 times. I know. Oh, what's up? There he is. Christopher. All right, Christopher. That's my cousin's name. It'll be hard to forget. How cold is it now? It was 9 degrees today. 9 degrees here. So, not fucking cold at all. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful December weather. I'm dreaming of a very asphalt Christmas. Yeah, exactly. I almost pulled out the shorts today. I had a couple meetings to do, and I thought, I don't know. But, yeah. Okay, boys. Good to talk to y'all. Everyone else that was watching, thank you for watching. We'll see you not next week. We'll see you December 30th, 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. Until then, Merry Christmas and take care.